All right. Get the call to order.
Well, we got 5 o'clock, but we don't have, well, yeah, we got 3 members. How am I doing?
Yeah, we do. Count yourself there, Joe. We're
Let's
counting
go,
you.
Joe.
Let's
Yes,
go.
and I'm saying, wait a minute, somebody's missing. Okay, well, let's call our meeting to order and see what we're gonna do here. We'll follow the agenda and the way it was set up. I believe that first order of business is the bills as always, and then if we've got some minutes there, we can do that. So if everybody's seen the bills and are okay with that?
I'm gonna look at them right now, Joe.
Okay, thank you. Bill, you seen the bills? You got something going on there or what?
What's that?
Did you see the bills?
Yeah, I already read them and signed them.
Okay, okay. Have you seen the minutes?
Not yet.
Okay.
Joe,
Yes, sir.
what exactly happened to Gloria?
Well, I'll tell you what, maybe when I get back, we'll get together and we can.
I know it pisses me off, but.
Oh,
What, eh?
Okay.
It's already
Both
in
the
progress.
Dennis is here. Dennis, we're just barely getting started, just looking at the.
I know
bills.
it's 5 o'clock.
5:01.
Well, now 5:01:34.
Here, Dennis. There's
Hi.
your stuff too. Let me- Okay.
Dennis, how are you?
Hey,
We're going over the minutes of January 22nd currently.
Okay, thank you.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes from January 22nd as presented.
second.
Okay, all in favor? Dennis,
Aye.
you okay with that?
Same, yeah.
Okay. I could just take a minute and ask Heidi for a favor. Heidi, could you take your
Give
cell
me-
phone and call Janet for me? It wouldn't surprise me if she thinks the meeting's at 6.
We did
I
send,
know she was intent on being here.
Okay, that's fine. We just knew you wanted to be here. Well, we've started, because we've got the 4 of us, but we've just done the bills and we'll let you get on and do your thing when you get on. How's that sound? Okay. No problem. See you soon. Bye-bye.
is the guest Charlie?
She says she's trying to get on.
Thank you,
One of
Heidi.
these. One of these.
Okay. Okay. Well, you know what?
You could ask that person.
I'll tell you what, why don't we skip down and do something about the perk test fees? Because Joyce, that's gonna be a
Perk
longer term thing. So maybe you'd like to present what you were gonna present pertaining to that. Perk test fees, down under discussions.
Yeah, sorry, I'm going through. No, I just had some questions about why the perk fees are different, depending on if it is a new construction or a repair. Why are they different amounts and not one flat fee?
Why are they different amounts and not one?
What is it, like one's 300, one's 250 or something, right? The perk fees.
200 for repair.
Yeah, we're charging 200 for repair and 300 for a new, but it's the same process.
Because most people, the repair is gonna be more of a financial strain than a new system if they're building a new construction home. That would be my guess.
Well, the thought at the time was,
Yep,
in a lot of cases on the repairs, yeah, basically, we're doing an awful lot of single hole tests.
Okay.
Whereas on the new construction, there's always the 2 holes in the area of the system, which is impossible on a repair.
yeah, somebody just asked me and I said I didn't know, so I said I would ask at the meeting. So now
think you do
now I
now,
know.
because that's really what it is. I mean, you go out and try to dig 2 holes with an active leaching field there, you're not gonna have a very good day.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
No,
Okay.
that's fine. That's really it. And then, do you want me to go down the rest of this
Well,
while we're
I'm
waiting for Janet?
I'm actually waiting for Janet on a couple of items, and I'm just using these little things to get, things that we can get out of the way that I
Yep.
don't think will be a big deal for her. You wanna
Okay,
talk
well, I'll
about the
go-
hilltop? I'd like to talk about the hilltop. What do you got
Yep.
going there?
Yeah, well, we issued the permit with the understanding that Ken Mullally, who apparently managed it, signed up for the serve safe class, was supposed to take it. So we issued the permit because he was going to take the class and then he wound up not taking the class. So now do not have a serve safe food protection manager. And using somebody that's a member that's not there is not acceptable.
Agreed.
We agree with that. We
So,
spoke to Ken about
I
it.
would like to know how the board would like to proceed because, it was not met with, the agreement was that the person was gonna take the serve safe and then they didn't.
Okay. Have you discussed this at all with Ken?
Yeah, I told him he needed to get it done and then he gave me a song and dance about how somebody that's a member there, that's a chef somewhere else they're gonna use his permit. I'm like, it doesn't work that way. So I'd just like to know what you guys want to do and I will do it. I think the permit should be rescinded because it's not like they didn't know they needed this
Well,
serve safe manager.
I'd go by the book. That's, we're not, or I don't want to show them either fear or favor.
And that's the issue that it
And,
becomes.
they've skirted the issue, they've skirted a few, things for a while, like well, never mind. Just go by the book is my recommendation.
well,
So to be diplomatic, Joe, what if I tell them they have 14 days to get this done? They need to produce he needs to produce a serve safe because he is the manager of that building.
How long has they been aware that we need to do this? How long has it been an issue?
Well, I can't tell you that, Dennis, because I wasn't here, but I told them that they needed to turn it in for this January's permit, so I don't know who permitted it last year or checked it. But obviously they didn't have one because he doesn't have a current serve safe.
I think 14 days is too generous. I mean, I'm not saying no days, but I think 2 weeks at this stage.
Well, you have to take the class. You actually have to go
Yeah,
through the
well,
class.
I would be satisfied, and I think the board should be, if they show that they are on a waiting list for a class, they have paid or whatever.
So
No,
the
you
problem
sign
is,
up and it goes
Dennis,
on he already signed
We
up for
did
my
this once
class.
with him already.
Yeah,
He already said, I'll get it, I'll go to this class. He failed to attend said class.
okay, in that case, he already knew the ramifications. He made a conscious choice not to attend. I would say you lose the privilege until you get somebody in there,
That's
period.
exactly what Joyce is saying.
I'm trying to be diplomatic about it in the sense of saying
Go back to
see,
diplomatic. Joyce.
what?
Okay, why don't we approach it like this? What if you say, we say that we can accept the part-time services of the member as.
He's
an
not
alternate.
there.
Joe,
Joe, he's not
Joe.
in the kitchen doing it.
Let me finish. You can yell at me when I'm done. If we accept the alternate, as an alternate, the part-time services of that particular individual, however, it doesn't cover the full-time position that we want covered as well. So
Joe, that's not the issue. The issue is that the rules say The serve safe manager needs to be present in the kitchen on the
Understand.
premises while it's being used. This
I
guy has a
understand.
full-time job as a chef. He's not gonna be in the clubhouse while they're preparing food.
I understand. All I'm trying to do is cover a situation where maybe in 10 days,
Oh.
they have an event there that will require, and if this particular individual who's qualified would be on site for that event, that's fine.
Oh.
And we
They're
could accept
open
your
every
services
day.
as an alternate.
They're serving food every day?
As
Yeah,
far as I
they-
know, Ken made it sound like this, they like, might do pizzas or whatever, but there's people at the Hill Club every day.
Look,
You know, one of the things that, rots my socks is the illusion or the appearance or the reality of special favorable treatment.
That's why I'm bringing it up,
But
Dennis.
for a group and an individual that freaking knows better and is constantly pushing the envelope. So you push the envelope, this is the rules, and we come down hard. We're not being vindictive. We're not being nasty, not being, they've had every opportunity to come into compliance. They have deliberately failed. And this is the consequences. It's not our fault.
If they were to have an event on site.
Then
and
they better
have
get it.
someone there, serve safe qualified to run that event, there's no reason not to allow them to continue to do that. I have no idea where the attitude is coming from you about pushing envelopes in this particular special treatment. I'm considering it as a business in Kingston. I agree, yes, this is a requirement, so let's tell him he has to get somebody who's gonna be on site, has to be food safe qualified.
And
we
he's
need
been
that
told that. Joe, he's been told
from the
that.
individual.
Can't keep yelling.
Joe,
Yes, Bill?
not that I have a lot of friends there, but I know a few, and I've been there. I know they don't have parties every day. And I know they do order pizzas from the outside when they do have a lot of things. That I know because I've been there. And they like to have wild parties every day.
No, I know. So.
I don't think it's got anything to do with wild parties.
No, but I
Well, they're
think
not having
what
parties like
Bill
you
is
said all the
saying,
time and all that.
Oh,
I think what Bill's saying
Who's
is
the
that
food certification person on the permit last year, Joyce, please.
say again?
Joe, you have to repeat yourself. There's a vacuum cleaner going down. Oh,
Sorry, Heidi. Hey, Heidi,
Yes.
Joyce, who was the food safe person last year? Or the last period of time?
I don't think there has been one, because nobody has made it an issue, Joe. That's what I'm getting at.
Okay,
They've been afloat.
Nobody's been checking this stuff,
okay,
at least anything I could find.
okay.
When is our next serve safe class, Joy?
Not for a while. Now, I was told by Ken that he got the online course and he was gonna do it last week, and I've heard nothing about it. So there is an option for him to get this done immediately.
Okay, so let's just,
That's why he said, let's give it 14 days. You either have it or you lose the permit.
14
I
days is
mean,
reasonable.
that seems
Heidi.
quite reasonable, Joe.
I got mine online in one day. That's all it took me to do it when I did it. So I know that it doesn't take any long period of time. There's no heavy lifting there. Everything's explained. I went through it. Joyce, you have too. So let the board make an order that he has to provide us with somebody with a certificate who will be on site and be responsible for this activity within a period of time. So if somebody wants to make a motion to that effect, okay.
I'll make make it the 14 days.
Okay, Bill.
It should, I mean, if you can do it in one day like Joe did, I guess it can be done.
So
Right.
can I help you with your motion, Bill?
Yeah.
So I would like to make a friendly amendment to Bill's motion stating that the Hilltop Club is required within the next 14 business days
Whatever, I don't care.
to have a compliant, serve safe food manager on site during all food preparation and serving.
Second,
Now, you accept that as an amendment, but okay. Okay, and Dennis, what are you saying about that?
Oh, I'll vote.
I'm sorry?
Should we
Not
possibly-
affirmative.
Add in that they need to have, that there will be a cease and desist or
Loss of permit.
loss of permit,
until
shall
it's
this not be
compliant.
met?
I would go along with that, but they basically, you can't perform the functions that you were performing before. I mean, that's the bottom line. They knew what they had to do. They didn't
Okay,
do
but
it.
let's just say focus on what we're gonna tell them they need
Yeah,
to get
I
done.
know, but I'm saying that, okay, I'll just make it, just set it up and I'll make a vote.
I mean, there shouldn't be a problem. They have 500 members. There should be somebody that can do it.
But it's gotta be somebody that works in the kitchen. It can't be you sitting at the
Yeah,
bar
I
having a drink, being the supervisor. That doesn't work. It's not in the
I
spirit of
know, I
the
know,
law.
I know.
Bill's motion is for 14 days.
Yeah.
To get some people down there, serve safe, qualify. That's Bill's motion. And Heidi ramped it up to say, any all food serving event, there'll be somebody on site for that. Bill accepted that as an amendment. Dennis said he'll vote. That's what we have. So I would say all in favor.
Aye.
We need to add that there will be a loss of permit if this condition is not met.
Well, you know what? You really want to?
There needs to be a ramification,
That
Joe.
would get my vote.
I'm sorry?
That would get my vote because, you know, I don't like not having any teeth when you're in a biting war.
And I have already told them that they need
Yeah,
to get, he needs to get it
this is
done.
not new. I mean, I
Do they
respect
currently
our
have a
health agents.
permit? Do they currently have a permit?
Yes, because the understanding was we
Okay, I
would
don't need
issue
to
it
know
because he
why.
was supposed to go in the class.
He had
Okay.
signed up for the serve safe class that we
Okay.
offered and then
Okay.
failed to attend.
Okay,
Right now, they're not in compliance.
Obviously.
okay.
We'll be able to.
Bill, do you accept this amendment that says if they don't comply with this order, that their permit will be revoked or not revoked, suspended? Is that?
Revoked.
Until they're in
correct, Heidi?
compliance.
Until they're in compliance.
Did you
We're
accept
just
that?
asking them to play by the rules and it's all for food safety. We
I
don't need a
understand.
salmonella outbreak because somebody doesn't know how to wash their hands.
I'm getting all of that. Bill, do you accept that as a further amendment to your motion?
Yes, second.
Okay, and then on that, I could say all in favor of this motion now, which says that they will have 14 days to bring the requirements of their permit into compliance. That at the end of that 14-day, during that 14-day period, any food safe serving events will have a food safe serving qualified person on site. And that if in fact these conditions are not met, their license will be suspended until such time as they are met. So
How about revoked? And they can reapply.
I'm just trying to make the motion
Just
clear
keep it
for the secretary
this-
that who's gonna have to write all this down. Laurie, have you got it?
I've got most of it. I'll listen to it again.
Okay, thank you. All in
Okay,
favor?
so who seconded it? Joe, you presented it?
Yep.
No, or did Heidi you present?
No,
thought you-
Bill
Bill
presented it,
presented it, you amended it.
so I'll be the second. I can second it.
Okay, all in favor?
I,
Thank you very much.
Aye.
Janet, how are
Aye.
you? Okay, Janet's here now.
On.
Okay, so now we go back up to the top and we've accepted the minutes, am I correct?
Yes,
Okay. Health agents report, Joyce, it's all yours.
Okay, we'll make it short and sweet. There's been at least 4 perks completed in the last month. We still have a variety of plans waiting, addresses that we're awaiting plans on. We have approximately 18 septics in process. We have pending projects at 113, 117 Wapping, 60 Country Club Way. We have no well complaints currently, applications currently. I've had a few complaints. One was a case of hoarding at the Kingston Housing Authority. That's been dealt with and case is closed. Everything's the way it should be now. So that was a nice, successful outcome. I had a complaint, Fic Factory. I went to inspect it, found no grounds for the complaint, so that's been closed out. Had a trash complaint at Orchard Ave. There was some debris, but not to the point that it met the standard of issuing a complaint. And so the complaining neighbor, I just let them know that should this continue or develop into a more heavily soiled with debris, to call me immediately so I can go down. And so that's at the moment okay. The issue that was at the hotel has been rectified. The resident is no longer at that shelter. They've been moved to a more structured facility. And the room has been cleaned and restored to its original condition. So that's all set. A complaint was not issued for that, even though we were called, because it's under the state, so the state inspectors have to come out because it's a shelter. And so I think we need to look at what we can and can't do when these situations arise. And that's on the agenda, so I'll address that when we get to it. Current food inspections are pretty much up to date with our grant inspector, so that's been super helpful. And then the only other big issue, we have 2 other issues. One is the sip and stroll that's occurring at the mall. This is our second time doing it, and I have set parameters and will continue to do so. With when these applications for one-day permits can be submitted and signed off on, because it just is overwhelming with how many we're getting at one time. So I've just put parameters in place to say if your application is not filled out completely in full, along with all the required paperwork, it will not be entertained until you provide everything. And we have provided an updated list to the person who is organizing this. And she is aware that it will be more organized than it has been in the past, because it's just overwhelming for Lori and I to go through to get all these people permitted. And I will talk a little bit more about requirements for this town when we get to the meeting, to the agenda. I've also have to issue a correction nuisance order to Nottingham Road Farm. They're gonna have to get rid of any fowl on the property, because even with their efforts to contain, we're still getting complaints from the next door neighbor. And so I've had a discussion with the owner of the fowl, and she's gonna be removing them. I'm going to give her 30 days to get them off the property, because they need to be homed, and it's a series of chickens and ducks. Because this has apparently been an ongoing issue for well over the past couple of years. And then the last piece of my report is trainings and meetings. Obviously, I've attended the grant meeting. There has been an effort to coordinate a meeting with the state concerning vaccinations or lack thereof with some students in the school system. apparently there's an issue with some children not being vaccinated who are attending the Kingston Public School, and this is, obviously a problem. So Carol Beck, who is the supervisor of all the school nurses, got in touch with me. I'm waiting to hear when DPH is gonna set this meeting up. They tried to push it off on us, and I made it very clear that we do not supply vaccinations or have the ability to provide those kinds of vaccinations. And that's something that the state needs to provide, because it's apparently people who are currently at the shelter. Some students haven't received all their vaccinations, and I was told by the shelter that, everybody receives their vaccinations when they were going through BMC, and apparently that's not the case, or follow-up has not occurred. So as soon as I get more information on that, I will let the board know. I've had a couple of departmental meetings with conservation, planning, and building concerning some ongoing projects. Nothing major to report at the moment. It's just everybody kind of keeping in the loop as to where the projects stand. I've also had a meeting with the public health interns who have done some work with posters, and then they also were looking into possible grants for our department. I will provide more information on that as grants become available. It looks like right now, the only thing that we may qualify is the retail standards grant through FDA, which helps bring our food inspectional services in line with FDA codes, which would be good for the town, as well as the businesses. And then also, I've met with emergency preparedness coordinator, who is looking to establish what our emergency dispensing sites are, to just formalize plans. So that's part of the Region 5 and I'll be working on that with this coordinator in the next few weeks. And Mark Douglas will be obviously involved, as he is apparently the point person for emergency preparedness. That's what I have for a report.
Anybody have any questions for Joyce?
Nice report.
Thanks.
Okay, Janet,
Hi.
how are you?
She's frozen.
She just froze.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Of course.
That's how she looked when I was at the eye doctor with her.
Oh, I don't know how to fix it. Is there a-
She has to do that at her end.
Can you
Probably
call her
drop
and
out and
walk her
recall.
Joe, do you want me to keep going on the other stuff while we wait to unfreeze Janet?
Yes, I do. Thank you very much.
Okay, so, next item on my list is tobacco fines and penalties. We had a number of violations, for the compliance check.
You're frozen. Yeah, you're frozen. You gotta log out and log back in.
It appears that we have 7 violations. Of those 7,
Okay.
3 of them were, second offenses. And,
Janet is happy to join us via phone.
okay, hi, Janet.
Hi, I don't know, I'm having some issues with my computer. I just wanted, Joe had just called on me about Health of Kingston.
Yep,
I just wanted to say we have a program coming up this Thursday, the 7th of March, and Mary Beth Lawson, who is the director of the Council on Aging, is going to be speaking about living wills, healthcare proxies, and healthcare directives. So should be an interesting conversation.
Mhm.
And I know, Joyce, you had mentioned there was something that you wanted me to announce.
yeah, we're gonna be starting an advocacy program, a medical advocacy program with using Pat Iafrades, our grant nurse.
Okay.
It will start, it's gonna be every other Tuesday, the first and third Tuesdays of the month. It'll occur from 3 to 6 p.m. in that downstairs front room. We wanted to keep it out of the COA. 2 reasons. One, the time frame that we're looking to hold it. And 2, we want to encourage all residents of Kingston to access it. And basically, it's a service to help anyone who is struggling to access doctors or navigate their health care. Pat will sit with them and assist them in what are the steps that they need to take. So maybe that people will not find this healthcare system stuff so daunting. So we're gonna start that. I believe it's gonna be at the end of the month, or we're gonna start
And
it.
that's gonna be the first and
Third Tuesdays,
Tuesdays.
3 to 6 p.m. And Janet, I can certainly send that to you in an email tomorrow if you would like.
Okay, yeah, no, that would be great. No, that's a fabulous idea.
We're trying. It's really
So-
all Pat. Pat came up with it and asked what I thought, and I said, I think it's a great idea, so
Yeah.
we're gonna give it a
much
whirl
needed.
and see how it goes.
So that would start the 3rd week of March.
I think so, but I will get back to you on the start date, because I don't have it in front of me. I
We'll
know
post
that-
it on the.
Yeah, we're gonna
website.
post it on the website, the town website. We'll post it on Facebook.
Perfect.
We're gonna post, probably make some flyers and put them at the COA. And we also pick 3 to 6 because people are still at the COA, so they can meander over if need be, and it doesn't add an extra burden of getting here. They're already at the
Right.
COA.
Do they have to sign up for this or do they
Yes,
show up?
and I will send all that information in the email. We're gonna use the
Okay.
health department, and Lori or I we'll have like an appointment schedule for each week and do like half an hour increments, or we're gonna play with it and see how it goes. But we will be taking the appointments for Pat's, because we don't want to just have it be a walk-in and then, everybody decides to show up at 3. So
Right.
we figure if we have appointments, that will work more effectively.
Okay, that's a great idea.
So that's all I got. I'll send it to you tomorrow, though.
Okay, thanks.
Time out, Janet. Did you want to make a motion pertaining to the project you did on the guide for new members in the health board? Everyone's had
Well-
enough time to review this. Would you like to make a motion to accept it at this point?
Yeah, I'd like to make the motion to accept the orientation manual for new members of the board.
I thought we did that last time.
No, we were waiting for you
We
all
were
to
waiting.
make comments, and you had till the 12th to do it.
I give my feedback.
That's good.
Well, there haven't been any comments, and I'll second Janet's motion. If there's any discussion, we can hear it.
I wanted, Janet, you did a wonderful job with this. You really spearheaded it and did such a nice job of putting it together. It will make anybody who joins this board in the future that much more aware of what the going-ons and the resources are that we have.
Great, well, thank you. I appreciate it.
No, thank you. You did a great job.
Okay, all in favor?
Bye.
Okay, motion carries unanimously. There you go, Janet. Back to you, Joyce.
Okay, so the tobacco fines and penalties, as I said, I believe there's 7 or 8 violations that were found during the inspections by Bob Collette. Of those, 3 were second-time offenses that were just done in January of last year, so it hasn't even been a full year, because these were done in December, right before the new year. So they've had 2 offenses within 12 months. And I have already gotten calls saying they want hearings. So the interesting part is, because we used the form letter that was issued the last time, there was nothing to have a hearing on. Back in August, I literally hand-delivered every business that sells tobacco a letter that clearly stated that fines were not removable or adjustable.
Negotiable.
They are what they are. They get paid. That's the state mandates it. It has got nothing to do with the Board of Health. We have not instituted any kind of loss of business at this point. So basically, there is no need for a hearing because they haven't lost anything. They have to pay the fine. I am more than happy to, I've already explained this to one merchant who has 2 stores and had, I spoke to him this morning and explained that to him. And I told him that I would talk to the board and I would get back to him if there was anything different, but I don't know what a hearing is gonna do because they violated the policy. It clearly states in the mass regs that they must pay the fines. So we have no say on it. But that being said, we talked about it at the grant meeting. And it may behoove us to put some things in place going forward. That a first offense is 3 days loss of license to sell cigarettes. A second offense is 5 days or 7 days, and the third offense is a month. That is currently what Plymouth has done, and it has really helped to minimize the amount of violations. Because they're gonna not only have to pay a fine, but there's a loss of business.
So who is making sure they're not selling cigarettes or tobacco?
So
during
it's
this time?
it's this fellow, Bob Collette, who is part of a compliance check that's run by the state. So the grant pays for this, our grant pays for him to go out, he
Yeah.
brings an underage person, they go in to the store and they literally buy something. And then they mark down, was an ID checked, was, I gave you $5 and I bought a vape thing. I don't even have any clue how much any of this stuff is. And they'll tell you what the change was. It's all documented on the forms that we get. They talk about if the cashier's name was on it, what time. It's clearly indicates the
But I'm
store and what
Well, it's on
happened.
probably on the
So, hold
stores.
on, Dennis, I was talking.
I'm sorry.
Thank you. If we do something like this, that we ask them to not sell tobacco
Mhm.
for 3 days, 5 days,
Yep.
7 days, 30 days. Who's making sure they're not doing this?
Well, I would have to go in and make sure I would do that.
We've done
Or,
this before. We have done this before. You go in and you inspect that all tobacco-related products are removed from the shelves and boxed somewhere else.
Yep,
Dennis
Okay.
just
We've been
makes
doing
it
it.
like he's aware of this.
Okay.
But as far as any modifications to these fines and the regulations go, we would have to schedule a public hearing if we wanted to do this, so.
to
it's not
put
something
the loss of business in place. Okay, that's fine. I
It's a
think it,
modification of the regulation. Dennis is probably gonna nod again.
wait, say
We would have
again,
to have
Joe?
a public hearing.
Okay, so, but I guess it starts with the board being all in agreement that we should move forward on this to add, obviously, the message isn't getting through if you had 2 violations within a 12-month period. You're selling to kids.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
I would like us to have a public hearing on this, Joe. I will, if it needs to be a motion, I'll make the motion.
Dennis, what do you think? You were here when we did a lot of this work before, Dennis. What do you think?
Public, I mean, first of all, I think anybody has a right to request a hearing, but we don't necessarily have the ability or power to grant relief that somebody may be looking for in a public hearing. If they want to dispute the facts of the matter, by all means, but if they want to dispute the regulations and the consequences of violating those regulations, no.
I think what the public hearing would be, Dennis, in my eyes,
Yeah.
is to put stricter.
To attach business loss to when there's a non-compliance.
Correct. So
And I
that
remember
it's
when you
not
sent
just
that-
a loss of the $1,000 fine for the first time. Is that what I read?
Yeah, it's 1,000 first, 2,000 second,
Yeah.
5,000 third.
So
Okay,
in
well, the
addition to
first
having
issue-
that monetary
Yeah.
loss, they would also be expected to stop selling the products, therefore having more of a business impact also.
Okay.
And if Plymouth has proven that this is causing a decrease in the instance of selling to minors, which is the whole goal of this.
Yeah,
I'm all for it.
I am too.
Okay,
I mean, again, it's frustrating a bit, not that we have a public hearing, but public hearings that are observed by a large number of people in the public and covered by a press we no longer have can be a cautionary tale. The thing is, right now, we're gonna have a public hearing that's probably gonna be seen by whoever's in the room and the 3 people that tune in. And that's it.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
But,
It's
but
still offered to
the
them.
point is that it needs to be made public because something's gotta get done. Obviously, this isn't just working the way it is.
Yeah, I'm not giving any pushback whatsoever.
Yeah, no,
I'm
no,
just,
no.
you know, I want to make it very clear. I
No,
think-
but I also think that we can do some education with posting it on the website, posting it on Facebook to say, hey, we're gonna have a public hearing concerning the ramifications when people are selling to minors.
I would like to see, like.
I'm not
I do not want to interrupt you. The wrath of God down at the table. Do we have any signage that, or is it right for us to require, one, that they remove the tobacco products and 2, that they have been found in violation? In other words, public shaming has some
Oh, I'm
impact.
all for that. I think it
And,
should
you
be
know, if
posted.
you have an establishment and you apply for a license to sell, basically a health unfriendly product like tobacco, and you sell it to minors, you are contributing to, a serious health problem
Mhm.
in this country, and you don't just get it was a movement.
Oh, I
Maybe it
didn't
was
know.
once it was, but 2, 3, once you have multiple violations, consequences, we violated the law. This is the consequences. We are sorry for the inconvenience. We are learning our lesson. Because customers will come in looking for the product that they usually buy at whatever the convenience store is. And if it's been removed from the shelves, it's gonna happen.
I
And
know,
that can have a huge impact on their business.
I know years ago, Cranberry Crossing lost theirs for 30 days once. Now, the people that own 200 of them now that bought it, that big place in Cranberry Crossing, the gas station,
Nuria, it's not
Oh,
Nuria.
okay.
they don't sell it to anybody unless, and there's a sign up there, you gotta give them their license and they check your license.
That's what they're supposed
It's
to-
been like that for a year there.
Right, well,
Yeah.
so
So somebody, Plymouth got
We've gotta
real
come
good
down
at
to
this,
it.
and somebody's been telling them to come here, because we never had 6 or 7 like this all at once.
well, you
like
guys
this.
weren't doing them. You have to actually ask for them to be done,
Yeah.
the compliance check. So I don't know, I can't speak to what happened before me, but I'm making sure this is getting done.
Okay, guys, we got a lot of the subject matter that you're delving into now would be part of that public hearing. What
Right.
we can accomplish tonight is actually 2 things. Number 1, the health agent is coming to us saying she's getting calls now pertaining to these fines. We'll be hearing anybody on these fines. My answer would be no. We sent them warning letters. We've done more than any other board that I know of pertaining to making them aware of the risk they incurred if this happens. I don't want to sit and have to listen to somebody and my heart will go out to them, but unfortunately, all they're gonna hear is no. We're not
Yeah,
gonna.
there's no way to move it, Joe.
That's
They're
the
not
first thing.
able to shift the fines. They're not able to
Agreed.
dispute the fines. It's black and white, cut and dry.
The
And
only,
that's coming down from the state level, not us.
the only thing I can think
Yeah.
that, like you said, they could dispute the facts of the, it's in black and white. It says what time it was, who sold it to them. So, I mean, you want to have a hearing, I'll have Bob Collette come in and he can sit there and say
I
that,
don't want to do that, Joyce. I'm telling you,
okay,
personally, I do not want to do that.
It's
I
not an
don't
option.
either.
It's not an
We-
option.
we Published this,
Okay.
we warned them, we did everything any board could be expected
We
to
hand
do.
delivered letters to them, Joe.
I
I
remember,
know that, Joyce. I know everything we did. I was part of it with you. Back to that. Now, the second thing is, if in fact we want to modify this regulation, which is basically we're talking about, then somebody should make a motion that we get some dates together and set up a public hearing to talk about doing just that. And that's about as far as we'll get tonight if somebody wants to make. a motion.
Okay, so I would like to make a motion to amend,
No. To
Have a
schedule.
public hearing.
to have a public hearing to discuss
Amended tobacco
amending the
control
violation repercussions of the tobacco
non-compliance.
non-compliance. Sorry.
Well, actually, it wouldn't be to review the, it's a regulation we have, correct?
No, so we would be adding to it.
You
I
can
mean,
add
we,
to it.
we have an existing regulation,
Right.
and this could be potentially amended.
Yes,
And we have a policy as a board that any change or enactment of a regulation by this board, we require ourselves to have a public hearing.
okay, so you.
I don't know if the law requires it, but that was a self-imposed regulation this board made many years ago.
Okay, so let's just give the right words to Lori so that she can
Uh,
do it.
Okay, so Dennis is making the motion.
Dennis is making the motion. Dennis,
move that we have a public hearing, to review, potential changes or amendments to our, tobacco control regulation.
yeah, that sounds good.
Somebody second it.
Second,
See, there we have an opportunity to get public comment, and there is an opportunity to get some education, because I'm pretty sure that you're likely to get most of the companies that have tobacco products they're selling will
Okay.
have a representative at that hearing.
Okay, moving on.
Now, moving on, let's take a look at a calendar here. Now, we've got an election coming
Yes,
up.
I
in
did.
May.
And a vote.
There'll be a change in
Oh,
membership.
we gotta vote on our motion there, Joe.
I made the motion, we need a
We
second.
already
and a
did.
Bill
vote.
seconded.
All in favor? Yes, I thought we voted that. All set.
All
All
in
in
favor,
favor?
aye.
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 As far as the date goes, I would suggest early June.
Okay,
I would suggest early June. That's just-
okay,
But that's what I would suggest. Laurie, take a look at your calendar and we can assign a date to it.
all right, the only other thing left on this is the letter that you guys have used previously for the tobacco non-compliance. It says you have a right to a hearing, may request one before the Board of Health. Within 7 days, receive the order. So I will make it clear that the only thing that they can contest is the facts of the non-compliance, because they can't, and if, because one person used the lawyer to, request a hearing, the other person with the 2 violations is probably not going to go forward. So I will let the attorney know that they are certainly welcome to have it, but all they can be doing is contesting the facts of the violation, because there's nothing else to contest, which I'm
Yeah,
guessing
please.
will result in
This was-
nothing.
Dissuade them every way possible.
Believe me, I will, Joe.
Okay, thanks, Joe. You got a
Um,
date for me, Laurie?
6/3.
Early June.
He wants a date.
6/3.
6/3.
June 3rd?
Yeah, that's great.
We'll just do it with our meeting.
Oh,
Okay,
Okay, Joe,
Okay,
next thing is residential
Last-
kitchen. I don't think we can probably address this tonight, but at some point going forward, we really need to look at what parameters we want to put on these residential kitchens, and looking at what we're going to require of anybody that's serving food in our, or making or serving food in our town. So it isn't really just related to the residential kitchen, but there's been some issues because DPH only requires a food handler, which is ridiculous. Because you have people making food in their house where the controls are a lot less loose than they are, a lot more loose than they are in a restaurant. And so, something for everybody to think about is mandating that we do a ServSafe, allergen awareness and liability insurance as a requirement for anybody doing food.
okay.
And then,
Okay.
the only other thing is food establishments and, establishing a fine for if you do an inspection and we have violations and then we go back on the allotted, usually it's in 10 days roughly. If we go back and the violations are not corrected, and I'm not talking about you ordered gaskets and they're on back order, I'm talking about cleaning, date marking, things that can be addressed immediately. If we go back and they're not addressed and we have to go back for a 3rd time, there should be a fine imposed on the business because they didn't comply with fixing the problems. You know, it doesn't have to be huge, but like a $50 fine if you are not in compliance.
What is the fee for the initial inspection?
Nothing, you don't get, there's no fee for getting inspected.
So then a re-inspection fee of $50 sounds
So-
reasonable.
No, you get inspected.
I
If
get
I
it.
find, or Kathy or I find violations, we go back, we give
go
you, we
back,
tell you, we'll be back in
notify,
10 or 12
yeah,
days
yeah,
to
yeah.
re-inspect.
And
If,
if it's
when
not
we go
done,
back on that day and they
Mhm.
aren't corrected, and that means we have to come back for a third time.
Right.
And then you will get fined, you will have to pay a fine for that third inspection, because you should have already had it all done. We gave you ample time to fix the problem.
right, I agree with you. What I'm saying is, I would suggest an amount of $50.
Okay, 50 is fine, but I mean, anything's better than
No,
nothing.
if the board, I don't know how anyone else may feel about it, but
You have
that
to make a
would be
motion.
my suggestion, $50.
Anybody else? I mean, I know we did $100 in Milton, but I think 50 to start off with, that may solve the problem.
Milton has more money.
We are not that poor of a town.
Yeah,
so-
Joe, believe me, there's parts of
Yeah, you're
Milton that
kidding.
you guys get more money.
Joe, move back to where you belong in Kingston. There's plenty of money here.
I miss you, Bill. Okay, well, if you want to do 100, you can do 100. I just suggested
you
the
guys.
$50.
Well,
Well,
what does it take for time? Because that's what we have to look at.
It's usually, you know, good, if you're going back for reinspection, by the time you're in and out, it's probably a good hour.
Good hour,
Yeah, if you're doing it right,
yeah. Why don't we split the difference and do it 75?
75 versus each
Okay,
other.
so I'm gonna make a motion for the third inspection due to non-compliance to have a fee of $75.
As a compromise.
Yeah, it would be a
There you go, Heidi.
reinspection.
Yeah, right in the middle, Joe.
I'll second that, Heidi. I like that compromise.
Good.
So I have a motion, I have a second. All in favor? Any discussion?
She got Janet, she was an aye too.
Yep.
We have Janet,
Everybody.
Heidi, everyone's.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we got a chat going on too. Hold on. Can you read that?
It says you are supposed to roll call vote because some members are online.
Okay,
Easy enough to do.
Joe, we're being told we need to roll call our vote because some members are online. Will you please perform the task, sir?
Okay, let's do that. Dennis,
Aye.
Bill,
I,
Janet,
Aye.
Heidi,
Aye.
and Joe, aye.
What was the one below that, or is the one?
I can't read
And
that.
that was it. I had asked to unmute by mistake,
Okay,
so it was just me saying not to.
okay.
But that was.
Who was that? Are they identified?
No,
Thank you, strangers.
sure I know.
Anything else?
No, I think that's it. That's all I have, Joe.
Dennis, what's up?
Yeah, not for today, but I've been requested to bring to the board the question of farmer's market permits and licensing and stuff like that. And is there a way that we can combine so that you can get like a season permit or a year permit or a per item permit? I'm not quite sure how.
A
it works.
farmer's market is one permit and it permits you for the season, so I don't know what the issue
Okay.
is.
Okay, maybe I misunderstood.
Yeah, apparently. I don't know what the
We'll get
issue
to it
is. In a residential, like if you have a permit to make food, that does not cover you being at the farmer's market. That is a separate permit in itself. And I believe it's $75 and it's for the entire season of the farmer's market.
Okay, and I'll invite.
It's not
the
like you get
person-
it every time.
I'll invite the person to specify precisely what they're looking for so I can be a better messenger.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, they could
Or
just
have
call
them pop in
they could
office.
just call the health department. It
Yeah.
might be easier.
Yeah.
Well, Dennis, excuse me. Is this got to do maybe with a civic organization or a church or something like that?
What's that?
Does this have something to do with either a civic organization or a church or something along those lines?
No, this is, an individual that sells, items, salts and stuff like that, mixtures at, various farmers markets, and I wasn't quite, I got the impression that she thought that they needed to be a permit each and every time she was at an event.
It
No,
depends
we
what
have
town.
a difference between, I can tell you what it is now that you're filling me in. So there is a thing called the Sip and Stroll. It's an event that's happening at the mall that is organized by a dance studio out of Middleborough. Those are one-day permits. That is not a farmer's market. It does not qualify as a farmer's market. So therefore, anybody who wants to participate in that must pay the $75 for a one-day permit. That is separate from farmer's market. And no, they cannot be combined because it is two very completely different things. This is to make money for the agency that's putting it on.
Yeah.
So yes, it's not the same thing, and no, they cannot be combined. Two separate permits. And that person, I believe, if it's the same person, the person's already been told that through the Board of Health when they called us. And it was explained in detail.
Right.
Very good.
Anything else?
Okay.
Anybody?
How about our next
Any
regular
news?
meeting, Joe?
What?
What, Janet? Sorry.
I was just gonna say, any update on the public health nurse position, or is
No.
Pat just taking over? No? Okay.
For right now, no viable candidates at the moment.
Oh, time out on
Okay.
that. Joyce, you had mentioned to me, and we talked about this, and I mentioned it to Janet, that currently in the job description, it requires a level of education that we're not finding in the applicants. And you wanted to change that?
Yeah, I think we need to take master's degree out
Yeah.
and make it bachelor's of nursing.
Okay. How does the
I
rest
agree.
of the board feel about that?
Yeah, I agree. I think for the money we're offering, we're not gonna get somebody with a master's.
And our two
That's what we think.
professional members concur, so I do too.
All right, I'll talk to HR about that then tomorrow. I'll get that
Okay.
removed.
Do you need a vote on that, or are you gonna take us and do that? You'll be all
What
right
did he
with that?
say?
Do you need a vote on that?
I don't know. You guys can vote if
I
you
don't think
want.
we need to vote
I
on
think
the
we should
job
have a vote
description.
simply so it's part of the
That's
record.
Fine with me. Okay. I just wanted to make sure everybody was aware of it.
Okay.
I think that's it. Does anybody have anything else, or does somebody want to make a motion?
Move to adjourn.
Our next regular scheduled meeting will be March 18th. We need that before we adjourn.
Yeah, and we will obviously let you know if there's if we have nothing, we will let you know, but otherwise it will be scheduled for the 18th.
Okay, I will second Dennis's motion at this point then. To
All in
adjourn.
favor?
Do you want to do a roll call, Joe?
Yeah, here we go. Dennis,
Aye.
Bill,
Aye.
Heidi,
Aye.
hello, Janet,
Aye.
and I. Okay, I thank everyone. Thank you very much.